Welcome. We're live. Can't get over that. That was funny. We're live Sunday morning answering your start sit questions. I have a very, very special guest this week. So I never do the intro. So just tell the people about yourself.
Well, Tyler was thinking, who is the worst person I could possibly get to do start sit questions? And he's like,
I knew you'd say this.
let's pick the dude who always says on Twitter, man, I am terrible at who to sit and who to start. But, it's fun, right? That's what we're here for. We're here for fun. We're not here to win games. I grew up with my father telling me it's not whether you win or lose, it's how much fun you have. And that was mostly because I lost everything. And that was him making me feel better. But I took it to heart. And that's how I live my life. Winning isn't important. It's just about not crying.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we have very different brands, I can tell you. My Patreon is, I will help you win more games. Yeah, I know. You couldn't be more different for me.
But mine is, we will be entertaining.
I'm also definitely, I can be fun, as you know, but I'm
1000% you can. You just actually care about that other half, that doing well part.
Yeah, I can be fun as a person, but like when it comes to fantasy football, you're one of the few people who's actually gotten the privilege to play in a league with me. There are not many. I don't play in very many leagues. Unlike you play in what, 30?
I 26. I got it down a little bit.
I was close.
I 2 years ago I was at like 34, and then I got it down to 29, and I'm like, oh man, just don't hit that 30 number. Don't hit that 30 number. And magically I actually got it lower. And that's my goal every year, just quality over quantity, just shrink it down a little bit. But the problem is I run about 20 leagues.
That's all. I run 0.
I'm never going to get that low. So that's something I've learned to live with.
I like the only 2 solo leagues I play in anymore are yours and SFV. That's it. I have a couple of other things going on, but I'm mostly retired.
Good for you, man. It's a lot.
Yeah, I have other things to. I mean, you see how it is when I play. I either like to really play, or like I don't like to do it at like half play or anything like that. Also, if you're watching this on Twitter, since I've noticed something, you can't comment, and we can't comment back to you. So Twitter decided to launch, I don't know if you've heard about this, but Twitter decided to launch a live streaming platform.
They got rid of Periscope.
Without comment feature.
Oh. Ew.
Yeah. No. Why? What? That's the whole point. I don't know. But anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, we already have people starting to trickle in, and I know it peaks usually around halfway through the show. And put in your questions in the comments. I'll get to anyone's questions in the comments first, because you're here. You came and watched. I do have about 27 questions pulled up in advance. So if nobody comments, we'll go through those and we'll take some extra time. And since I have Dynasty Outhouse here, Dynasty, if there are any Dynasty questions, I'll take them. Well, since you're here and no one's put any questions in the chat yet, you saw me trade Kadarius Toney. What do you think?
Man, I mean, it comes down to, do you believe or not? If you thought Kadarius Toney was going to be good, which there doesn't seem to be many people that did believe that.
No, almost nobody did.
Yeah, then good for you, man. You got this guy. You probably drafted him in the late second. Cool, awesome. And if you didn't believe in him, it's beautiful that you have this window to get rid of him, right? Like, on every rebuilding team I have Kadarius Toney right now, because 2 months ago he was literally a throw-in. Like, that's
true.
So even I'm just like, let me grab every young wide receiver I can and see what happens. And this happened. He's a lot of fun to watch, in which case I'm going to keep him. But if I didn't, man, I would be getting seconds or late firsts plus, him plus like a second for a first in every league I have.
Yeah. It was Toney at 23 third for a first. Late. That's going to be a late first, but
it's still awesome. It's more, even if you drafted him in the rookie draft, that's better value than what you paid for him. So awesome. Yeah.
I think I used the 208 on him. So
yeah, exactly. So you're not getting a late first in a draft for the
208 and 23 third. No, you're not getting that. So
no.
All right. Well, we do have questions, not start sit. top 3 players who are league winners this year. So I wonder if they're asking have been or will be from now on.
Well, I mean, the league's not over yet, so I guess we got to go at least from now on, right?
Because like if it's have been, it's Mike Williams, Hollywood Brown, like we know. But maybe, instead of looking back, let's look forward. So from now on, someone who who hasn't really been a league winner yet, but who will be for the rest of the season.
And I think we just named one. There's a very good chance if Slayton and Sterling Shepard don't get healthy and Galloway can't stay healthy, Kadarius Toney very well could be, just like Evan Engram was his rookie year when everyone else got hurt. It might just be by default, but it's still that. Who cares why it is? It's going to happen. I mean, I don't think we had that running back injury that's going to change the world. That their backup is going to happen. Like at this point, we all have Tony Pollard waiting in the wings. We're probably flexing him at this point because he's getting a decent amount of work. I mean, and who else? And I mean, Kareem Hunt, it's happening now with Nick Chubb out. Chuba, he's not great. That's the problem. He's good, but he's not CMC
not great at all. Yeah.
So he's not going to be a league winner, but it's great to have an RB2 that was just a bench player before. I mean, I don't think there's any real league winners. I mean, if you want to consider these league winners, like go by Ridley and Hawkinson and all these people that are underperforming that are really, really good, because there's always the chance that just flips, and there doesn't need to be anything happen for that to flip because they're good. And things.
I like those 2 names actually, Ridley and Hawkinson.
No, those are
especially Hawkinson.
Yes, especially because he showed this year that he can be that guy. And
and then it's just been a few weeks off, but I think he could get back there.
1000%, yeah.
I do have one name that I think is the league winner. Is Javonte Williams. I think it's coming.
I want it to be a thing. I really, really do, and I kind of hope it does. And I don't even have that many shares of him, so it's not even a selfish thing. Just I'm with you. I want it to happen.
I mean, Cam Akers, he didn't really break out last year until like week 10 or 11, but once he did.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
When it mattered, when it was the playoffs, that's when he had his biggest games.
And Melvin Gordon likes to get hurt towards the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, it's just like every single year. And he's 100 at this point. 100, he's not even 30
He's hurt now.
Yeah, but he's still playing, though.
He's playing, but he's not 100%.
Yeah, so
they have to see that Javonte Williams is playing better than Melvin Gordon.
They just don't probably care because they want to run the ball that much. But while we're on that team, go get Jerry Jeudy before he starts playing again.
He was just designated to return from injured reserve. I don't know if you saw that.
Just before he starts practicing, before we see videos, before he steps on the field, go get him.
Well, I would do that. Unfortunately, I cannot get Jerry Jeudy in Trade Addicts 8 because I already have him.
Yeah, we've gone over this. You have literally every single player you want, and more than 50% of the first-round draft picks this year and next year. Yeah,
I have 8 of the 12 next year and 6 of the 12 in 2022. I also have 9 seconds next year. People keep asking me about trading those, and I keep saying no.
I mean, it's kind of obvious at this point what your goal is, and that, man, if someone's going to get those away from you, holy jeez, are they going to have to overpay?
Well, as you know, from someone playing against me, I'm probably the most ruthless Dynasty opponent.
And ageist.
I'm a huge ageist, but I'm ruthless. So like I definitely don't join Dynasty leagues to make friends. Put it that way. If I did that, I wouldn't have any.
That's literally the only reason I joined Dynasty leagues.
Honestly, like I've actually found that I've made more enemies playing Dynasty than I've made. I haven't made very many new friends.
Again, that's your whole wanting to win thing. I mean, that's on you, man.
Winning is fun for me. I don't enjoy playing. I only enjoy winning. So yeah, it's hard. I'm literally the exact opposite of you.
Everybody needs the other side of the coin, right?
Yeah, but also that's not how I make friends. Like I make plenty of friends on Twitter. I just don't have to play against them. I'd rather just. A lot of people. I mean, I love being being in the co-manager spot. I mean, my entire Patreon is that. I have a dedicated co-manager. Essentially, I run his teams, but people don't know that. We share the account, and there's a couple of other things, but I like being teammates. I'm much easier. I'm much more fun as a teammate than I am as an opponent.
Well, yes, and I'm glad to be the exception to that rule of you not making friends playing fantasy football.
That's true. We didn't really know each other that well before I started playing Trade Addicts, actually.
I don't think so either. I can't I know you came on my show. I know we talked a bit before, and I don't remember what came first, whether it was TA8
or no, I was
in
Trade Addicts first. I had been a Patreon of Trade Addicts before I was in Trade Addicts.
Yes. Okay. Now it's starting to sound familiar.
So I was a Patreon first. Then I got randomly picked for Trade Addicts. It was just random.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came on your show. That was like a year later.
Was it? Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that was way late. We finally have our first question.
Nice.
Okay. So oftentimes I recognize the names in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's often the same people. So Trogdor is one of my biggest supporters. So I appreciate you.
It's nice to know there are some people at least my age that still are around.
You're not that old.
I know, but I mean, you're too young for Trogdor.
I mean, I'm wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt right now.
That's ageless.
That's true, but Dragon Ball Z was, I guess I'm about the right age for when it was popular in America.
Yeah, I mean, you were a kid for it. I was in college.
Yeah. When it was popular in America, I was like 8 or 9. But anyway, if you put more questions in the chat, I'll talk about anything, but I'll always answer questions. So, Damian Harris or Mo Alley Cox, 2 points. 2 points for Titan Premium. That's a lot. That's a lot of points. How limited do we think Damian Harris is going to be? Or is he in the doghouse?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to apply to Damian Harris after the game. He fumbles, he'll get pulled, but he seems to just come back. So I wanted Mo Alley Cox to be a thing this year, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So what do you think is going to happen? More likely to happen? Damian Harris getting 12, 15 carries, fingers crossed, falling into the end zone, or Mo Alley Cox getting 4 catches?
Probably Damian Harris falling into the end zone.
Me too. I really, really think that as well. Wentz used to love, under Frank Reich, Carson Wentz loved his tight ends, which is why I didn't understand why they didn't bring Trey Burton back, but that's not really part of the question. But Mo Alley Cox is not getting used whatsoever, and
Doyle outsnapped him last week. Significantly outsnapped.
Mo Alley Cox is more of a pipe dream at this point, unless you are playing a team where it seems like you're going to be down by 60 and you need that magical ceiling. Maybe then you go for Mo Alley Cox, hoping he has that one game like he had last year. But I think you go Damian Harris.
Yeah, if the tight end were a little bit better, it wouldn't have to be much better. I mean, even if it were just like, I don't know, someone who's a little bit more guaranteed to get some work. Although the tight end landscape is brutal this week. But like if it were Tyler Conklin or Damian Harris in 2-point PPR, I would go with Tyler Conklin. But I
still go with Damian Harris. But I get it. That
you're getting 2 points is a lot. 2 points is a lot.
2 points is a lot.
But Mo Alley Cox could put up a big fat 0.
Yes.
And then it didn't matter how much the premium was because 0 times anything is 0. This is, I'm not really a math. I'm not really a math person.
You nailed that one though.
No, I'm pretty narrative based. I definitely, I film, I don't watch that very much. I watch the games, but I don't watch film.
Yeah. Same.
Analytics, I try my best, but I always refer people to usually Peter Howard or...
I was about to say, I can regurgitate what Peter Howard says, or you could just go listen to him.
Yeah, to me, I feel like it's the kind of thing where, like, why would I ever do that myself when I'm just not as good? And I'm really good at what I do, which is writing articles, just writing really quickly about just, like, narrative topics or doing, like, a lot of research without having to like do that meta-analysis and just kind of doing it quickly and grinding it out. That's what I'm good at. So I do that. But a lot of the like spreadsheet work. I mean, do we have to talk about VLOOKUP?
Oh my God. I love that stuff.
Well,
XLOOKUP these days, man.
What I used to do. I used to put them in one at a time.
Oh my God, I cried when you told me what you used to do. Oh man.
I literally think that was going to be the end of Addison. That was going to be Addison's last day on Earth when he heard about my Excel.
Oh my God!
Yeah. All right, we will get to these. Okay, needs to start 2. I feel like I answered this already on Twitter, but we'll answer it again. I need to start 2 from where was I going with this podcast? I have to check that out.
Where are we going with this podcast? Who knows?
Well, I mean, who knows? DeAndre Hopkins. I always, with these shows, I always try to make them fun because I answer all the questions on Twitter anyway. This is more for the people who just want to hear me talk, really. DeAndre Hopkins, target share issues. Okay. Mike Williams, knee injury. He's going to play. Or
I think he's just worried about him being on the field but not doing anything. Yeah.
Or Tony, but Jones is not out.
I know. Is it official yet? I mean,
he wasn't even listed on the injury report. So that means
because I know he came back to play with pads and everything, but
with a concussion, you're either healthy or you're not.
That's also a very fair point.
You either cleared the protocol or you didn't. There's no in between. So if he wasn't listed on the injury report, he's going to play.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
But I'm still going to go with Hopkins and Mike Williams.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to go with them, right? Yeah. Team Clemson, big wide receiver. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. Both of them. I didn't even really, because Hopkins was going to be the answer regardless. And it was just who was going to be after Hopkins. But yeah, those are 2 of my boys. Again, man, how do you bench Mike Williams, even if he's a little hurt?
No, you don't.
With the way he's playing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't bench
I've talked plenty about liking Kadarius Toney this year, but yeah, there's no reason to take that risk. I'm absolutely fine. If these guys are on the field, you play them.
Yeah, so I have DeAndre Hopkins. I'll give people some numbers. So this is not a close decision. I have DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver 8. Mike Williams, a little bit lower this week at wide receiver 13, but that's still a start in any situation. I have Kadarius Toney at wide receiver 37. So it's not close.
Yeah, and here's a video of Daniel Jones walking into the locker room ready to play. So yeah, he's definitely in.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so some names, new names here. Seahawks fan is here, so we'll talk about that.
So going to be thrilled about Alex Collins.
No, not thrilled. Brad guy, Alex Collins, Khalil Herbert, or Chase Edmonds in a PPR flex.
And this is easily Chase Edmonds for me. That guy's actually getting really good volume. It's just that does he still have 0 touchdowns on the year? I can't remember.
I think he's a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, maybe it's not a rushing touchdown.
Rushing touchdowns. I don't.
Sooner or later, that has to change. The guy's getting the work. The guy's on the best offense listed below. So to me, it's pretty easily Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I have Chase Edmonds, running back 17, Khalil Herbert at 19. So it's not that far off. Alex Collins, I have all the way down in running back 26. So he is not really in consideration.
Yeah.
I just Geno Smith, Pittsburgh, that one doesn't sound so good to me.
No.
Beat up Damian Harris or go with Bolden.
That's a lot of fun. Your last flex spot, you go with Bolden because that is fun, and it's your last flex spot. These guys both have a floor of like 3 points. Who has the ceiling of like 15, 20? It's Bolden because no matter what, doesn't matter what year it is, it'll be 2034. Brandon Bolden will still be on the Patriots and have 1 game a year where he scores 4 touchdowns.
I'll still go with Harris, but I'm stubborn. I usually just go with I'm very chalky on the start sit thing.
Well, I mean, yes, the guaranteed touches are really there for Damian Harris. It's the smart move. For me, the fun move and the ceiling move is Bolden.
Yeah, I'm anti-fun. So
I'm learning that more and more as time goes on, which means I just have to kick up the fun because when that coin starts flipping, I need to.
Well, I mean, I have Bolden in Trade Addicts 8. You could trade for him if you really want to play him. I've tried, believe me. I've tried.
24th or 5th to give you.
No, you have any left, but I've sent, I believe, 11 offers this week related to Brandon Bolden. See, I have time. For this. We just talked about Khalil Herbert. Yes. Yeah, I have confidence in him. Who else is going to run the ball there? There's no one else.
Is Damian Williams out?
Out, yeah, COVID.
Yeah, there you go. Confidence in him doing well.
Man, that one, not so much.
But he'll get the ball, and that's good enough. And I believe in Justin Fields, so the better he gets, the better the run game will hopefully get. I mean, man, Pollard.
These options are not good. So
you know what? I'm going to stick with my fun and go with Herbert.
Fun agrees with Mr. Boring over here. I'm about your age. Ooh, that's a dangerous question.
Okay, now, okay. What age are we talking about? Go ahead. How old do you think I am?
Me?
No, I think you probably know
how
old
old
I
you
am.
are.
I've probably said it before. I mean, I've talked about it many on Twitter,
Yeah,
so
no,
it's not
I've
like it's a
listened
secret.
to it. I've listened to enough of your like more, and this is something. Why don't you tell? You should tell people about this. You do like other. You had your outhouse thoughts on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You often, even more than me, like you talk about more personal topics. I rarely do.
Oh yeah, no, I am very much open about my craziness. I mean, that's the easy way to get it out of there. On the Dynasty Addicts podcast network, the DAP Network's YouTube page, I do a show called Outhouse Thoughts. It's usually once a week if I have the mental energy to do it, and it's honestly, it's just like you're looking right now. There's two screens. One of them is me on one side, and the other one says Outhouse's brain on it. And it's really just to kind of show the way my brain works in certain situations, because like I always say, my brain is broken, and I think it works in a very weird way. And plus, my brain is a bit of a dick to me sometimes. So what I'll do is I'll throw the screen back and forth to like when I'm talking, or like when my inner monologue starts going, because I always feel the need to be like, my kid is such a pain in the ass. I love my kids. They are wonderful. They're amazing. Like, and so like I'll switch back and forth, and it's just a lot of like lifelike situations that I think people can relate to, because it's great to know you're not alone in the shit you go through and all of that stuff. So it's good for me because it's kind of therapy to say all this stuff out loud. And I think it's helpful to some people to realize that there are other people that work the way you do, other people that maybe they're not going through the same stuff you go through, but there's other people going through stuff. So it makes you feel less alone.
No, I totally get that. Here's the link, by the way. So if you're in the chat on YouTube, you click on that link, you'll get to the DAP Network YouTube feed. So that's how you find that. So you should go subscribe, and watch some videos.
Damn straight.
Okay, Psycho Scott, will I win my fantasy match? I have no idea.
Are you listening to us? If you do what we tell you to, yeah, you will.
Oh, I wish that's how it worked. One thing I used to say, oh, I only hear about it when I get it wrong.
Well,
I hear every week I'm good for at least 10 of those. 10 of those. How could you have told me to do this? You should have foreseen this happening. It's your fault.
See, that's why you just got to let people know in the beginning that you're terrible and they shouldn't be asking you.
It's
and
fine.
Don't blame you at that point.
I get 100 of the good comments for every 10 of the bad. I get too many people thanking me, honestly. I'm kind of surprised. It's a lot more than I thought there would be. But that's what you get when you answer hundreds of questions per week.
The more you get, the better you get to that law of averages.
It's true, yeah. Oh, John. Hi. John's someone I know in real life. Tyler, how are we doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Sit one. AJ Brown, Mike Williams, T. Higgins, or Chuba Hubbard? Ouch.
I'm sitting AJ Brown until I see it.
I can't do it.
I have been doing it. I hate it. It makes me feel bad, but I'm sitting him until I see it.
I think I'm pretty sure I know this league, and I'm pretty sure it's PPR.
Don't matter. I mean, Mike Williams is Mike Williams. T. Higgins is on an offense that passes well enough that all three wide receivers usually do pretty well. And Hubbard's going to get the ball because, again, there's no one really else that's going to get all those touches. So I'm sitting AJ Brown until I see it.
I'll sit Hubbard, assuming this is PPR. Just not that interested in Hubbard. I mean, me
neither. But again, it's just he's there. He'll get the ball.
Yeah, it is PPR. I think I do know what league this is. But yeah, I'll sit
so
Hubbard.
Make sure see if you're playing him or not, and just give him the
answer
based on that. Oh, okay.
I've seen it. Because when we've hung out in person or something, I've seen this league. But yeah, I'll sit Hubbard. I guess I can't sit AJ Brown.
I have.
I know.
I feel better because of it. I'm not. I mean, again,
I still have AJ Brown at wide receiver 17 this week, which is high.
Considering he hasn't come close to that yet, yeah, it is.
I know, but I believe.
I believe too, but I'm still. I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm not even cautious anymore. I'm not even optimistic. I'm just whatever.
I'm not feeling great about Higgins right now.
Shut your mouth.
Well, he had his shoulder injury, and then he didn't look good in the first game back from it. So,
He scored points. And it's another
that's the thing. If it were a better player than Higgins, if it were like, actually, I mean, I have AJ Brown so high that
you gotta watch your mouth, man. I mean, you're bad talking T. Higgins, and that's not the way to go right now.
But who do you like more, T. Higgins or AJ Brown?
I mean, in long-term dynasty, the answer is AJ Brown. This season, it's T. Higgins.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly I don't like T. Higgins very much, so I mean, he might be available. No, he's very much available, but I've tried. One of the first that I could get, I already got for Kadarius Toney, so now the odds I trade T. Higgins are even lower.
Well, you came for Michael Pittman, and to me, they're close enough that
I like Michael Pittman a lot. Yeah.
I'm not going to use my personal bias.
I should have tried to do that a week ago.
Timing had nothing to do with it.
Well, I think having the big game on Monday night really it boosted his value a lot for me.
Oh, I mean, no, I feel about him the way I've been always. Wow, words. I've always been a big Pittman fan. Like even in the rookie draft, it was Higgins and Pittman. Like they were right next to each other, and I kind of still have that. I still believe in both players. Yeah,
no, I've always kind of been a fan of Higgins until maybe very recently, because now I'm worried. Now I'm worried that you just put a DeAndre Hopkins on that team, and that means everyone else suffers.
He doesn't have the ceiling he had last year. That's 1,000% true.
Well, no, it's just that Jamar Chase is. If you had told me what's your best case scenario for Jamar Chase, he's been better than that. He's been better than what I would say my best case scenario was.
I don't think so, man. Because, like, again, even though I'm the biggest T. Higgins fan, from the beginning have always said that Chase is better, and it's absolutely true. And plus, he has the connection. He's played with the quarterback before, and they've known each other for a couple of years. They have that chemistry, and I mean, the offensive Zach Taylor, I know he's the coach. I don't remember who the offensive coordinator is. Like from the very beginning, they never made any doubts that Chase is the X. He's the one. No, that pushes Higgins back a little bit. But I just don't. I mean, even coming back as a Calvin Ridley fan and a Juju fan, having that guy who's technically the wide receiver 2 on the team doesn't mean he's bad, and it doesn't mean he can't score fantasy points.
No, I get that. I just don't think even I, as one of the biggest fans of Jamar Chase, expected him to be this good, this fast. I mean, he's essentially doing better than what Lamb was doing at the start of last year with Dak. He's better than that.
I think consistency might be a little bit of an issue, and I think as the season goes on, defenses might stop caring about how good Higgins and Boyd are, and we might start seeing just double, triple teams on Chase, and we'll see how it goes then. But for now, just enjoy it. It's such good football.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he's averaging 91 yards a game.
Well, when you have at least one 60-yard catch a game, that's how it goes. Yeah.
Right, but when you start to have so many of those,
it's real. It's
Tyreek Hill, right? You expect them. It's not weird that it keeps happening. It's not an outlier.
Mm-hmm. No, it's real.
I just think it's crazy that these are his first 5 games. Not the first 5 games of year 2. Not the last 5 games of his rookie year. These are the first 5. This is just him getting started. I don't know.
He definitely dropped those balls in the preseason on purpose.
Oh, my God. I have Jamar Chase this week as wide receiver 7 for the week. So very high.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. And in Dynasty, I have him wide receiver 2.
He's definitely top. I mean, without even thinking about it, he's easily top 5. So I can't even.
To me, he's easily 2. To me, it's Jefferson and then Chase, and everyone else is way behind. It's not close.
You don't have Lamb up there?
No. Lamb is. I have not liked what I've seen.
Okay.
Lamb is down. I mean, I don't say. To me, it's Jefferson and Chase are miles ahead of everyone else. And then I have the next tier, which is, I'm such a big ageist, so there's not going to be any old guys in there. But I have the next tier, which is Brown and Metcalf, who've had their Brown, Metcalf, and Lamb, who've had their issues. And I still have Hill in there because he's tied to Mahomes. And we know that that's going to be long-term. So those 4 are my next tier. But Jefferson and Chase are way ahead of them.
I still have Adams and Hill up there because, I like winning games.
I have Jefferson and Chase ahead of any running back.
Oh, I mean, I love you for that because I hate running backs.
Well, yeah, but I have running backs between Jefferson and Chase and those other receivers.
Yes, that I could understand. Yeah,
but not Christian McCaffrey anymore. Not
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey. We have a problem. We have a problem there. That's this setback is going to be an issue. Oh, okay. Oh, we never answered this question about would it be better to pick up the Cardinals defense or Marquez Callaway? This is redraft. It has to be. And not Marquez Callaway. Marquez Callaway is about to be droppable. Thomas is going to come back for week 7. So
and is the Cardinals defense anything special? The only thing that's good about the Cardinals defense is everyone's going to have to throw, so you might get a couple of sacks and a pick in a game. Whatever makes you happy.
I would say not Callaway because I bet there are other options on waivers that are better. So it's either the Cardinals defense or someone else. But Callaway's a waste of time.
I'm not really a multiple defense kind of guy. I mean, I'm in one redraft that still has defense, and the only time you'll catch me having multiple defense is if I happen to latch on.
Playoffs.
What?
In the playoffs, you might have multiple defenses.
That's fair, yes. But during the season,
we're not in the playoffs right now.
When I have a defense I don't want to drop, like I have Carolina, and I'm not going to drop them just yet.
There's got to be some sort of running back on waivers that gives you some opportunity at a big
there's some handcuffs
jump in a redraft. There has to be. It cannot be Marcus Callaway. So, but if there's really nothing, I'd take the Cardinals defense because they're more likely to be startable than Marcus Callaway. Marcus Callaway's been a bust, complete bust. He's done nothing without Michael Thomas. If you look at the 2 touchdowns he caught, one of them was on an end of the half Hail Mary, and the second one was Winston was just like he was.
So he was Winston. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, those are the only reasons he even has any relevant games.
Correct.
The other games he torched you if you played him. Mm-hmm. So he's someone I'm done with. Okay, AJ. Good morning. Good morning to you. Well, I hate these London games, so that always kind of messes with me a little bit. But whatever. This is the last one. Yeah, people forget to switch out, start Sid, and all that.
I got lucky that it's 2 teams that I don't really have any issues with. Like I'm playing Waddle, I'm playing James Robinson, and that's all I really have going.
Well, I feel like this is a situation where there were a lot of players. I had a lot of questions about this game. Because James Robinson is an auto start. Mm-hmm. Nobody's starting. Nobody wanted to start Tua. Trevor Lawrence in a 1 QB, you're probably not starting him. And in a super flex, you're absolutely starting him. So I didn't have any questions about those guys. But I had questions about Gaskin. Gesicki, you're starting. You're probably not starting Jacksonville tight ends. But I had questions about Gaskin. I had questions about Waddle. I had questions about Marvin Jones. And some questions about Chenault, which was usually not Chenault.
I mean, those guys.
Marvin Jones was the one I had the most questions about. I had Marvin Jones or OBJ, Marvin Jones or Allen Robinson, Marvin Jones or Jacoby Myers. I mean, these are decisions you might have to make.
Yeah,
might have had to have made. Marvin Jones caught an insane touchdown pass, or in the first insane touchdown pass. Great. He's not washed. He still looks good.
He's always been so good. I remember it may have been his rookie year, but back when he was actually, yes, he used to be on Cincinnati, by the way, young people. There was one game where he caught 4 touchdowns and literally 4.
I remember
that. Everyone gets him off the waiver wire, and then he was absolute crap for the rest of that season. But the season after that, he started to be good again. and ever since that, he has getting burned after those 4 touchdowns. No one ever gave him value ever again, but he's always been a steady, very good fantasy point scorer.
Yeah. Viscas look like garbage in this game again. Garbage.
They need to use him.
No, this time is not the coach's fault. The ball was right to him. He just dropped it. Another one. There's a defender behind him, but you're an NFL receiver. The ball hits you in the hands. I don't care if there's a defender behind you. You got to make that catch. I mean, there's just not. It's unacceptable. He just doesn't. This is a call. As someone who takes ownership for these kind of things, this is a call I got wrong. Very wrong. I thought Laviska Shenault was going to be a big second-year breakout. I did not get that one right. He is not going.
I'm not ready to call it quits on him as a player, a fantasy asset just yet. But
I'm fine calling it quits.
I mean, if you had him up there like you thought he was going to be a wide receiver 1, then
nobody thought that. But a wide receiver,
just saying, I still think he has a chance of being a wide receiver 2. That team is just starting to get their stuff together. They have looked like trash the first 3 games And it seems like Trevor's getting a little better as time goes on.
No, Trevor's getting better. My problems are with Visca. Why is he dropping balls? He's not, I mean, he's getting open sometimes, but then, he just, if he were really that, because, speaking of Peter Howard, targets are earned, right? Yeah. If he were really that great, if he were really good, he would probably be getting some more targets, but he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's some mental stuff or anything, but he's always just so used to being the best player on his team that I think
that's every NFL player. Yeah, when they get to the league,
sometimes, but like literally, like he was the one in Colorado, or was that Rager?
Colorado. I mean, he had to have been the one in Colorado.
Yeah, so it was just but I mean, if Urban Meyer or whoever the hell the OC was smart, you give that guy a couple of bubble screens, you give him a couple of quick outs, you give him the ball in space like 2-3 times at the beginning of the game.
Oh, they did.
Guarantee you.
They did. They called a bubble screen first play of the game to Jamal Agnew. That shows you that there's no hope here. Like with Urban Meyer, I'm willing to just accept that as long as forever is a long time, right? But as long as Urban Meyer is the coach, Visca's done. And he does this,
which is ridiculous because Urban Meyer is a college coach and Visca is a great college style player. But
you would think, right?
I'm not going with any rational thought when it comes to Urban Meyer at this point.
No. I didn't say it was rational. I'm just saying that's the reality.
Yeah. No, yes. What I was saying was rational. What you were saying is reality.
Yeah, Urban Meyer should have been fired 3 weeks ago. I mean, he is just...
They're probably just too stubborn and they'll wait to the end of the season.
It's funny, though. He's not the worst coach, actually. There's one that's worse. Never should have been a head coach at all.
I mean, Nagy still exists.
Nagy's 3-2, actually.
That record doesn't matter.
Sure, but Nick Sirianni is the worst head coach I have ever seen.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be doing great either.
He personally is not ready to be a head coach. He was never ready to at any level. He is not ready to be a head coach. He doesn't know how to be a head coach. You have to rock, paper, scissors. That doesn't naming Jalen Hurts the starter 2 weeks before the season. You had all off season to do it. Were you going to start Joe Flacco? No. You should have just done that in the beginning. So he's someone I just dislike. I think he should be fired.
People don't know how to. I mean, like Kyle Shanahan's the same way. I mean, he does that crap also. I mean, some people might just be better off as coordinators.
Yeah, no, he's not prepared to be a head coach. But also his offense, 3 running back carries, 3 in a game.
That's
that happened.
That's
like, it's not like they have lots of good receivers. You got to get Miles Sanders involved on the running game because he can't do anything in the passing game lately. And then you draft Kenneth Gainwell and you don't use him. Where was Kenneth Gainwell last night? They were behind.
Oh my God, that was so weird. I did not see that coming. I had Gainwell in all of my lineups. I had Gainwell in all my DraftKings stuff.
But they were behind. Why didn't they get Gainwell involved in the receiving game? They didn't get Jalen Hurts involved as a runner enough. He had those 2 touchdowns, but where are the designed runs? Where's the creativity? Like, worst coach I have ever seen. Even Gase had 1 good year. I don't think Sirianni would ever have a good year if it hit him in the back of the head. That bad. It's not even because I'm a Giants fan, because I think Ron Rivera is a great coach.
Yes.
So, and Joe Judge is up there with worst.
Yeah, he's not great.
The math, I don't know what math he was talking about, but ooh. Okay, so does your wife play fantasy football? I think I know the answer to this, but
my wife hates fantasy football.
She hates it?
Hates it. Capital H, hates it.
Really? That's were you playing fantasy football when you two got married or? Oh, okay. So
I was actually a very big hockey fan, and I
did know that about you.
I didn't get into football. Actually, no, that's a lie. We got married in 2007. I started watching. I just started in 2004, 2005. So kind of, but when we first, I mean, we've been together since we were 18. So, and I was a big hockey fan back then. And I never played fantasy hockey because it was just I love football. It's a weekly thing. Once, it's just straightforward. 1 week, one fantasy. Fantasy hockey never freaking ends. It was so much. There's games every single day, and I don't have that attention span.
Yeah. Also, Miami is going after they're targeting Waddle like crazy.
2 on Waddle, baby.
Miami's losing.
Don't care.
I will say that I said this in a group chat. that if Tua lost this game for any reason, he'd never be forgiven. Not by the Dolphins fans, and they'd be looking at a replacement.
This is dude's first game back after getting his ribs broken. Give the man a freaking...
Cannot lose to the Jaguars.
He's jet lagged. He's getting over a rib injury. He's probably playing with a flak jacket on.
He's definitely playing with a flak jacket.
So just calm your bones, buddy. Give the man a breather. Well,
I will say that if Deshaun Watson had not had his off-field issues, Deshaun Watson would be starting this game, not Tua.
That hurts my soul, but you're probably right.
Oh, I'm very confident that I'm right. Deshaun Watson wanted to be there, and
I really like Tua.
I really hate Tua.
That's weird. Okay, if Tua got shipped to Houston in the deal, that's fine, because then he could be the starter in Houston.
Where do you think I have Tua ranked in Dynasty?
26.
Oh, that you were lower.
I purposely went lower because my original was like 22 to 24. Then I'm like, no,
24.
Let's push it, and I went 26.
24.
Yeah, that's kind of where I figured it was.
I think that's where he is, though. I don't think I'm different.
Unfortunately, yeah, he's definitely not top 12, even given the age and given the ability. Yeah,
give me Sam Darnold over Tua. Easy,
safer.
Easy.
I mean, I don't know about easy. I think the value is probably pretty even.
Well, I think Sam Darnold has earned a guaranteed starting job in 2022 because he has 18 million guaranteed coming.
Oh no, he absolutely was starting because they picked up his option.
The Panthers also, they structured everything to keep everyone locked up for 2022. They have more restricted options.
Move. Good for them.
No, it is a smart move. They essentially were giving 2 years to this crew, and then if it doesn't work, clean out house after 2022 and move on.
Brilliant.
No, it is brilliant.
It's nice to see a good front office.
Completely agree. It's it's a great move. I actually love that they did that. The Anderson extension does seem like a waste of money, though.
I know that guy. It's so weird that he's doing so poorly. Well, not as a human being, but I don't think we actually answered that question.
Which one?
The Swift.
No, we didn't answer that at all. We haven't been answering any of the questions.
No.
Okay. Hunter Swift this week. You have to choose?
Good for you, man.
How is this possible?
And it's standard, which is rough because they.
Who does that hurt more?
Hunt? Well, I mean, because Chubb's out. I'm starting Hunt. Start Hunt. I mean, he'll catch passes anyway, but without Chubb there, he's going to be the only dude, and they are going to split carries between Swift and Williams.
So in PPR, I had Swift 7 and Hunt 8, but in standard, you care more about touchdown, so I'm going to go Hunt.
I'm there.
It's very close though. Mm-hmm. But yeah, standard really it hurts Swift a lot.
Hurts both of them.
There's a lot. Hunt doesn't get that many catches. Actually, he gets less than you think.
Well, he gets more than Chubb, and that's what matters.
Yeah, but he gets a lot fewer than Swift.
Yes. Yes.
Swift is that's Swift's whole game.
That's fine.
Swift wouldn't have any value without it.
I mean, it's a little hard. And good for you, man. 39.
Yeah. I figured that's what it was. Collins or Pollard in a PPR? Oh, Seahawks fan.
Pollard.
To discuss Collins again.
It's funny. At the very beginning of last week's game, I tweeted out, Alex Collins seems good enough that it's strange to me that he was never the 1B in a committee. And then the next play, he literally runs the wrong way and goes into a tackler. And I'm just like, tweeted too soon. Pollard. The ceiling is there in Pollard. There's no ceiling on Collins, especially with Geno this week.
I'll take Collins, I guess, but I don't like these choices.
That is an also fair point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to make this choice.
It's RB26 and RB29, so I would not like to start either, but it's bye weeks, injuries, you might have to.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, good. I have no sleeper alerts after 11:30 passed, so that's wonderful. That is a very good sign that nothing terrible has happened.
I like nothing terrible.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it's every week, 11 a.m. right here, so you can always come join us. Patrick, not a start sit question. All right, no, we will answer it because this is Dynasty and Russ is here, so we're gonna answer that. Would you trade
No
Mahomes for CMC plus? So just no.
Oh man, it's 23 and 24? No. Okay. So in a 10-team league, quarterbacks are less important
a lot
because
less. Yeah.
there's more of them. Every teams can have 3, in which case you have but still, we just talked about CMC. Just man, his value is tanking. Like
It is. Yeah.
This isn't it's funny though. The easiest thing to always go back to, this isn't a Keenan Allen situation where he's getting a bunch of injuries in a row that have nothing to do with each other. He re-aggravated his injury last year. You can make the excuse that he probably got shelved because the team was terrible, but this is too much for me. He's still the running back, probably still the running back 1 in fantasy, just because of what he can do when he's healthy. But the overall value, like you said, of the running back 1 has really shifted backwards.
He's not my dynasty running back 1 anymore.
Who is?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor and Swift are like the only people that I think I could have up. Like, running back is scary right now. I am not thrilled. Like, I hate running backs in the first place.
It is because we lost the one guy who was a difference maker. CMC is a difference maker.
Like, I think if Barkley didn't have the shit luck of stepping on that guy's foot and hurting his ankle, well, I might feel better about it. But because
I'm done with Barkley.
I'm not, because that was such a freak accident. It
doesn't matter. He's entered. He's entered. You know me. I'm an ageist and I don't like injuries. So he's entered an area where essentially for Dynasty, it's like he doesn't exist to me. And CMC's now there too. Like, I'll never have CMC or recommend that anyone acquire another CMC share again. It's just playing out the ones I already have, Patreon wise or otherwise. But I'm just never gonna get them again because there's always gonna be someone. What happens with an injury is it's always the same way. The value goes down, and then when we come back, the value goes up. Not for me. The value goes down and stays down. So once there's an injury, someone like Dalvin Cook has essentially been out of my dynasty strategy for a long time.
Yep.
And now CMC has joined that group. With that said, this offer is not bad. In a 10-team Superflex, quarterback is worth a lot less, but I'd still take Mahomes.
It's still pretty easily Mahomes, especially because the first are 23 and 24.
Yeah, if it were 22 and 23, I would think about it more. 24 is just, we might be alive in 24. I mean, that's years from now. It's too much time.
Yep.
I don't like 24. I like 23 because it's such a strong class.
Yes.
I'm willing to trade for 23. I'd rather trade for 23 at like a 5% discount than 22. Yes. If there's any discount on 23, I'd take 23.
I was about to say they're very close to being even, which is even strange.
I still prefer 22 because time value helps. And believe me, you know this better than anybody when you're on the clock in the first round of a rookie draft. First round only. Not there are some years where the second round and beyond, nobody cares. People don't want that. This was one of those years. Once you got past 206, 207, it was like, I don't care. I'm just not participating in this year's draft at that point.
Yep.
But the first round, every year.
Doesn't matter how bad you think the class is.
Yeah, it does not matter. Especially in Superflex, where that's one of your only ways to acquire a quarterback. So people always want firsts. Mm-hmm. So I'm still interested in 22, but 24 is too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pick 3. Oh, Gus. Another one of my real life friends. Hi, Gus.
Look at you having real life friends. Good for you.
Yeah, no, I was actually surprised at how many of them pop up in here from time to time. There is one who often talks about some funny stuff. But anyway, pick 3. Mike Williams, T. Higgins, Robert Woods, or Jacoby Myers. Oh, some of your favorite players in here.
And I'm benching Jacoby Myers.
Same. Easy decision for me.
Yep, pretty easy.
Pretty easy. Half PPR since Jacoby Myers has never scored a touchdown.
Which is so weird. Like, come on.
Like,
you figure it would have accidentally fallen down into the end zone at one point.
It is weird, but also like that makes the decision even easier.
Even if this is that 1 week where it finally happens, like that's not something you bank on.
All right, so I will give the people a quick peek at the oh no. Tyson Williams is inactive today. Guess that experiment is over.
It's been over.
Yeah, it's over. But Le'Veon Bell.
It had a good 1 week.
So Tyson Williams is inactive. But other than that, I'm not seeing anything else that's really relevant. That's the only thing that's relevant at all.
Wonderful.
No Darius Slayton today. The Giants, they weren't sure. No, they weren't. Slayton was a true questionable. They knew, I believe. I knew that they knew they were not going to have Galloway. They knew they were not going to have Barkley. So Slayton out means that they're going to rely on Tony a little bit more. So I might move Tony up a couple of spots because I thought Slayton was going to play. So he's out. Other than that, yeah, no, nothing really interesting. Couple of Dynasty inactives that always make me sad. Especially Brevin Jordan.
I want him to. I like him. So, he was so good and so highly ranked on so many by Devy players, and then all of a sudden he just falls in the NFL draft. We've never seen a reason why, and he's inactive like every.
I know he's never been active. So, and also, if you're in Superflex, Jacob Eason has lost his job as backup. He's inactive. Yeah, so I would say you can just cut him. You can cut him even in the deepest Superflex leagues. I'd rather just have something like Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
Instead, because an actual backup. Yes. Jacob Eason, you can. You have got to be kidding me.
What just happened?
That might be one of the worst throws I have ever seen.
By who?
Tua. Through an interception, no receiver in the area, none at all. There's a the Jaguars player standing right here. It's like he's the receiver. No receiver in the area at all. I don't know what he was thinking here.
Okay, but how accurate was it to that guy? Right to him, right?
Oh, right
in the hands. Bam! Right, that's accuracy.
Literally, what is he thinking on this play? I mean, this is what I'm talking. This is some of the stuff I've been talking about. It's like, yeah, he's looking at. Oh my God, that's the worst throw I've ever. That's one of the worst throws I've ever seen. There was a receiver in the area, 10 yards behind the defender, and he threw it 10 yards short, right to the defender. There was a defender in back coverage, and there was one in front, and he just threw it right to the defender in front. Man can't play. I'm tired of him. He's had some good moments in this game, but you can't. It's against the Jaguars.
It doesn't matter. The dude just might not be ready to play yet after an injury.
He's one of those guys who should have just sat out his whole rookie year. He looked terrible as a rookie, and I think it just ruined him.
And it was handled so weirdly by blanking on the head coach's name, but
Flores,
yeah, like randomly just pulling him in the third quarter. It was just
I know.
It was so weird. Like that did no favors for him.
Yeah, and then he brought Jacoby Brissett came into this game for a minute and threw a 25-yard pass that looked better than any pass to us thrown all day.
Yeah, I mean, let's also not call Jacoby Brissett.
Well, I did say that I thought Tua coming back in was a downgrade for the offense at this point.
Yeah, I there's no reason to rush him back like they did. They
I just thought that I'd rather have 100. The only reason I think that they put him back in is because Brissett has a hamstring injury. I think I'd rather have 100% of Brissett than 80% of Tua. They're not that. They're Tua's better, but they're not far apart. If Tua's not 100% and Brissett is, I'd rather have Brissett playing for my team personally. But yeah, that might be one of the worst interceptions ever.
Yeah, that was not great. I just finally a video came up on Twitter.
There's nobody there. He's there, but he's 10 yards. Like, you cannot make that mistake.
Oh, you see him overthinking it. Like he even paused and then just like chucked it. I don't know if he was trying to throw it away or
I don't know what he was thinking. He
even stutter stepped his throw.
You got to check down there or anything else.
Yeah. Something was going through his head, and I'm not even sure
he looked pretty mobile. He could have tried to escape the pocket or something, or I don't know, but
I can't even know. I don't know what excuse to make for him, but there's definitely something going on right there.
On that play, there's no excuse. So Trogdor has Henry, Hunt, and Swift this week.
Oh wow, good for you, man.
I would like that. I would like to start those players.
I mean, imagine what his flex must be that he's not being.
Oh yeah, well. It might be a league where you can only start 3 running backs. So, okay. Patrick, follow up for this. Okay, would you accept if it were 22 first and 23 first? Okay, now we're starting to get. I mean,
still say no. I don't care. I still say
no. I probably would because we're starting to get to the point in a 10-team superflex.
Mahomes is still a difference maker to me, even if he's not the QB1. Even value-wise, his value is never going to change. So you might as well wait to get a player involved that is going to play.
Yeah, no,
Because I mean, if you're rebuilding, you don't want CMC. If you're
You don't
competing,
want
you kind of don't want CMC right now. I mean, if you have an active enough league where you can then turn around and move CMC, like if you're like want to feel like remaking your team, you could do it with this trade. If you have another person in your league that believes in CMC, would you trade Mahomes for Kyler and a first 23V?
I think it's just 23 first.
Okay. Yes, that I would do, because to me they're 1A, 1B at this point with how crazy Kyler's doing in fantasy, that if I can get Kyle plus, especially a first for Mahomes, I do that.
Yeah, they're not 1A, 1B to me, but in a 10-team super flex where quarterbacks are worth less, I definitely would take the first.
I think we're getting to the point where it's going to be personal preference between Mahomes and Kyler. I think Kyler's doing that well.
Well,
Mahomes is a better real-life quarterback, but the rushing upside and just how good that Arizona offense is, I think, is putting us in a fantasy football point where I think
Kyler hasn't looked as good the last couple of weeks, though. And the shoulder injury, he didn't run at all last game. And last year, once he had the shoulder injury, his
it took a while for him. He came back, though, towards the end of the season.
He did, but if he's not running, it's not a 1A, 1B.
That is fair.
It's a 1 and 2. That's the only reason why I have. If Mahomes doesn't run anymore, Mahomes is still the QB1 of the year. People don't think about it that way, but he's actually first. He's number 1. People are just like, oh, he didn't have one big game, so I don't remember him winning me a week. But he's still the QB1 on the year. So I will say this: if there's any discount on Patrick Mahomes in Superflex somehow,
if there ever is, you go take advantage.
There ever is. I mean, you know this. If there's any discount on Patrick Mahomes, take it.
Go get it.
Go get him. But Murray in a first is not a discount. That's expensive. Okay, start. Oh God. Star 1, Julio, Odell, Kadarius, Tony.
I think Kadarius, just because I think the offense is going to go through him at this point. But
I have these 3 back to back. Oh no. Fumble.
As long as you don't tell me Tua just threw another interception.
No, James Robinson. Urban Meyer called a run on 4th and 2. Robinson fumbled and was short anyway.
But whatever. I'm glad I don't watch London games. See, here's the thing. You have these guys listed in talent order: Julio, Odell, Kadarius, Tony. I think my starting order is the opposite. I think it's Tony, Odell, Julio. I
have Julio at 36, Tony at 37, and Beckham at 38.
That's pretty funny.
I'll go Julio. Julio was taken off the injury report entirely, so I'm comfortable playing him.
That makes me feel a little better, but I still just think that passing game is so weird this year that I would just go with Tony or Odell, because they are, at least at this point right now, the main passing options on the team.
Yeah, although now with Slayton out, that's probably enough, actually. So then I would go with Tony. I have to re-rank that. Yeah, I would go with Tony. Slayton out is enough. That because that means to me, what that means is that Tony's going to be on the field the whole time.
The entire game, yeah. He's going to have an upper 90s snap share.
Yeah, well, upper 90s is high, but like 80s, like a starting wide receiver.
I still just don't think Tony's really coming off the field very often.
Yeah. Well, he's the kind of player who needs rest plays, but
even if he's jogging for a couple of plays, I mean,
guys like Julio Jones always had 80% snap shares in the 80s. They just would, if they weren't getting the ball, they'd come off the field.
Well, especially later in Julio's career, he jogged off whenever the hell he felt like it.
But Odell was like that too.
Well, he's a diva.
True, but but yeah. So actually, with Slayton out, I will go with Tony. Those extra couple of targets are enough. And then how about tight end, Knox or Schultz? And we'll make this the last one. Knox.
I don't know, man. They're both doing so well and out of nowhere. Close. Like, I think I go Schultz because we've seen it more. Like,
I think we've seen more Knox.
Have we? I mean, Schultz we at least had last year also. for 3 years, for literally, okay, no, 2 years, sorry, for 2 years, Buffalo has been saying they want to get a tight end and they want to get them more involved. And they never seemed like they wanted Knox to be the guy, but all of a sudden Knox is the guy, and that's awesome.
Knox is.
And now we can actually like write off that Zach Ertz to Buffalo thing that's been going on.
He's in Arizona, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, Knox is the dude there. Schultz is outplaying Jarwin, and the passing game is the main focus of Dallas's offense now. And Schultz, if anything, like they're both very high percentage touchdown guys. So I don't know if right now, I don't know if there's a wrong choice. I mean, whichever makes you happy.
They're not wrong,
to me right now, it's Schultz, but I don't blame you, whatever you pick.
I have Knox at 6 and Schultz at 8. So they're both.
I mean, that's
I had Gesicki in between at 7.
And anything outside of 5 is a dart throw anyway. So
Gesicki's actually had a decent game, 5 for 58. You would take that for a tight end.
Yes, I would, especially
58. I mean, tight end can give you a big. I'm gonna add to that.
I'll take it. No, it's funny. I was joking last week. I watched Red Zone. They have the scroll at the bottom where it says like the fantasy producers, and it was like one tight end. I can't remember who it was because Kelsey hadn't played yet, but it was one guy that just had a really good game. And then it was tight end 2, 48 yards and a touchdown. Tight end 3, 43 yards and a touchdown. Tight end 4, 34 yards and a touchdown. Tight end 5, 58 yards. It's just like whatever. Right? I mean, yeah, you got to hope your guy falls into the end zone.
Yeah.
So
Gesicki is just dominating today.
So getting 5-6 catches in general for a tight end is great. Especially like my leagues are 1.75 PPR for tight ends, so that's even more wonderful.
Yeah, no. If you started Gesicki in your format, he has 7 now for 110.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy.
7 for 110.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Tua is bouncing back from that interception.
I'll take it. Let's go. Let's go.
It can't be worse.
Never say that out loud.
Today, you know who has not been good today? Myles Gaskin, 5 rushing attempts for 9 yards.
Come on, man. He had that one game where like they remembered that he existed.
I know.
He's not going to be a thing this year, and there's no reason for it to happen.
5 for 9 and 2 catches for 5. Not good.
That's pretty ugly.
Whoops. Well, anyway, tell the people one last time where they can find your stuff.
Oh, I am at Dynasty Outhouse on Twitter. There. I am co-host of the Trade Addicts podcast on DLF Family Podcast and the Dynasty Addicts Podcast Network. Co-host of Dynasty Game Night, which is also on the DLF Family Podcast. Wednesdays on YouTube, the DLF YouTube, I do the DLF Trade Show with Addison Hayes. Outhouse Thoughts, which we talked about earlier on YouTube, on the Dynasty Addicts Podcast Network YouTube. There's probably more, but I don't remember.
There's probably more, but
I mean that's the stuff I talk about at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I try and do it every way. I'm not going to be there this coming week, but Wednesday nights at 9:30, Peter Howard and I on his YouTube and on the DLF YouTube, we do a live like week in review Dynasty Wise show.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, there is more that I didn't remember.
There is more. And then for this one, my voice is dying. I'll take Metcalf and Cooper.
I'll take Metcalf and Thielen.
Oh, I'm done with Thielen.
I am not done with Thielen. I'll never be done with Thielen until he's done playing football.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Thanks for us for coming on the show. And good luck today. I hope you all win your fantasy matchups.
If you listen to us, you will.
I love that.